Now we're going to do our tattoo highlights of the week.
Oh, right.
So this is a popular segment because of the fact that I'm going to break down the Polynesian tattoo. I'm going to break down, I guess you could say, the island tat.
Yeah.
Breaking down the island tat style.
Hey, I like that.
Right? Because Polynesian artists have their own ways of doing things.
Mhm.
And I definitely don't do it traditionally. I don't have hand tap tools. I don't do ceremonies. I'm a very modern, contemporary artist that uses tattoo machines. And because of this, I'm influenced and inspired by Polynesian designs with my culture being Chamorro.
Mhm.
Growing up in Hawaii, I take all of that and I do my own creation, respecting the culture. But I'm not going to say it's traditional because I don't use hand tap tools. So let's break down the tattoo. First, I want to start off by talking about this tattoo. So this tattoo, as you can see, is a scar. Now, the reason why I want to talk about this, it's not really breaking down the Polynesian tattoo.
Yeah.
But a lot of people have injuries, scars, blemishes, things they want to cover up. So it's good that people get to see what we can do. Now, if you have a scar or a tattoo that was damaged based on surgery or anything, this is a prime example of what happened. So he had surgery on his back, as you could see. This is a close-up right here.
Oh, I remember this client. Yeah.
Yeah, and they actually went right through the tattoo, and when he was sewing them up or finishing, they didn't align the tattoo properly. So he, was curious if we're able to fix that, and I was able to. So here you could see what I did. Here's a picture of his back, but
wow, yeah.
I should have a close-up here, or I guess a before and after. So you could see.
Oh, there it is.
You could see what we were able to do.
Mm-hmm.
So obviously, I just bolded the lines out. I just made it thicker.
You connected it.
And right here, you have a before and after. So on the left, you can see the tattoo scar.
Yeah.
And then on the right, it's just gone.
It almost looks like you got you made it bigger.
Well, I had to make the line on top thicker.
Okay.
And you don't just fix that area. You have to go into the other tattoo.
Oh, so it's like you're blending it all.
As you could see, I made the whole top line thicker.
Okay.
All the way across. Because if you just make that thicker right there, it will throw it off. It's all about balance and the eye and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So the more that you guys watch, the more you guys will be able to see
the little techniques here and there.
Yeah, you guys will be able to see the progress and the process that we do here at Island Tat. So right here you have a falcon. A picture of a falcon. Now let me tell you a backstory on this client. This client came in. He's actually a doctor, and I think it was his first tattoo. No, he had smaller tattoos. This was his first large tattoo. He wanted to get a half sleeve, and he sent me this picture of his son's tattoo. So he wanted to create a half sleeve with this falcon included in it, this exact falcon. And this is an example of how we can copy a tattoo based on reasons. We're never going to copy a tattoo just because. But because this was his son's tattoo, I agreed. I said, there's meaning to it, and you want a connection with your son. I obviously didn't design it, but he wanted that exact one.
Yeah. And
so,
just to not to interrupt, but Kalani wanted to say he could tell, or he just thought it would be harder to tattoo on scars, like to get the ink through.
Every scar is different. So the question is, can ink go through scars the same as normal skin?
Yeah.
It can, but it depends on how long the scar has been there, how fresh it is, and also how thick the skin is. Sometimes it's really thin.
Oh, okay.
It depends how old they are too, if the skin's old. And there's so many different things. So it's good to see it and see what you can do with it.
And does your technique have to be different too?
Yeah. Sometimes, especially especially what do you call stretch marks.
Oh, okay.
Sometimes the stretch mark will throw it'll throw the needle left to right.
Oh,
like
really?
It's crazy.
Oh,
Like
wow.
when you do a line, it'll be all crooked right out of the scar. So you gotta really pay attention, know what you're doing, angle the needle right. I mean, all of those things are really important, and that's on the artist, but it's something to pay attention to. And the only reason why we're talking about it here on the show for you guys, one, there could be artists watching.
Yeah.
There are actually some artists watching that I know that message me, but there's also clients out there, you guys, viewers, that have scars that want to know what's possible. And I'm not saying come to us. I mean, other artists can do it, but I want you guys to know what's possible and be able to know, basically, you're getting the best work. So if you go to an artist, you want to know like what they're telling you, because it is possible. So let's get back to this falcon.
Yeah.
So here is his tattoo. So I put the falcon on his shoulder, as you could see, right there.
Oh, wow.
It's on his upper side, right here. Bam. As you can see, I put the falcon up there. Now, as far as the meaning goes, we have family in there, growth, genealogy, because the falcon, actually his last name is Falcon.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So right under the falcon, I have spearheads, and those spearheads represent his genealogy of his name, right?
Yeah.
His bloodline. He has growth through his life because he's been through a lot. On this next photo, you could see the back area of it. And since he's a doctor, I like doing this symbolic motif of tea leaves on the back lower right, right
there.
I'm going to get used to this split screen. Right here, you see kind of climbing up on his arms, tea leaves. And right above it is, that's probably a bad angle, but there's a bird. And the bird, you can't see it, but
I see the wing.
Yeah,
that's
one wing of the bird. Yeah. So this bird is shaped like that, and it's his journey. Yeah. It's this gentleman's journey. And surrounding his journey is his healing, because he heals people. Yeah. And that's what he does for a living. And then he likes to travel. So it goes hand in hand. Surrounding the falcon, you see the koru, or fern. The ferns kind of growing. And if you could see the spire on top in this next photo, right up here around the falcon, you'll see kind of these ferns spiraling around the falcon. Oh, yeah. That's growth, like new growth and beginnings for him and his family, with the leaves on top, family. So that's an example of what you can do with tattoo and mixing it with another photo. Yeah. So, I was given that falcon from his son, just a photo, and then we transferred onto his body and created something around it. And later on, I'm going to talk about flow and what's going on in my mind as far as this goes. And I do want to reiterate that this isn't traditional Polynesian. Traditional Polynesian tattoos were done for battle, for rites of passage, for protection, for other things that were done in the 16, 17, 1800s. We're in the 2000s. Life's different. I use a tattoo machine, so I'm inspired by Polynesian designs. And just to give you some insight, I personally am moved spiritually when I design. And that's how I actually do the design. I don't have a dictionary where I look at what means what. It's just 20 years of accumulating all of this, and I'm just open to whatever comes to me. Yeah. So as I draw, his story starts like being told to me as I start seeing the designs. It's kind of weird, but maybe that's why I want to design Cameron's tattoo in front of you, to see what's going on in my mind, and maybe it'll make sense. It'll make sense.
The connection you make is really good with the clients.
Right. So this next tattoo is really important. This tattoo, I want to say this tattoo is important because it shows an example of how a tattoo can be used for healing. Moving forward in life, many, many, many people have came with a lot of, things such as divorce or a family member, passing away, a dad, a mom, grandma, whatever, and they want to get past that and move forward. in this particular story, this story's told, and it's pretty powerful because let me just explain. The top turtle, or Honu, represents him, this gentleman.
Okay.
And the lower, the middle, right here, the middle Honu is his oldest son, and this is his youngest son. Okay? So 3 turtles.
Yeah.
On the shell of the top turtle is unity in marriage.
Oh.
It's 2 figures connecting side, like head to head.
Yeah, yeah.
If you could see it.
I can see it.
And that's unity in a marriage. So that represents his wife. Now, his wife was like everything to him. Not everything, but I mean really important.
Big part of his life.
Big part,
yes.
along with his whole family.
Yeah.
This tattoo was a tribute to his family and his son that passed. So
that's deep.
So this lower Honu, his youngest son,
yes,
is a son that passed, and of course with anyone, that's just it's
deep. It's
hard to get. I don't.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine. So I can't even put it to words. What happens, right? Now as I know this story, I don't know what I'm gonna draw at all. I have no idea. I just start drawing. And this tattoo is put together way different than I normally do, but most of them are different in their own ways.
Yeah.
Keeping it unique based on the story of the client. So when I did this one, I actually started off with turtles swimming, turtles flowing with his arm, different things, but it kept coming back to like this middle area.
Yeah.
And I like how it ended up because if you could see, the middle Honu on the shell of the Honu has a weave, a tea leaf weave.
Yeah.
And that, again, tea leaf can represent blessings and healing, also tying together, bringing together.
Yeah, okay.
And with it being in the center, I feel like his oldest son is kind of like tying the family together, just kind of being there for the family, and a form of healing and blessing, a remembrance.
Yes.
You have blessing still, right? And then on the lower one, you have a bird. Now, birds represent a lot of things. In the last tattoo, you could see that it represented journey. And in this one, it's the son's journey to heaven, to be back with God. And also, the bird can represent Io, or God.
Okay, yeah.
See, the hawk was the highest flying creature, right? In Hawaii and throughout Polynesia. And it represented a tua or a kua for God, and he would look over and watch. So with this symbol or motif, it's like his son went to heaven and is watching over his family.
Wow,
like
that's
always
cool.
there, always there.
Always
Don't worry,
there.
like he's always there and he's watching, and every part of that family is important. And on the very top, you see Marcation crosses up here. And that's faith. They are, big believers in God, and that's on top. The cross is for God.
Oh, wow.
Something to know is that in Marquesas Islands, and that is the Marcation Cross, they didn't have Christianity back then. Christians came after, right?
Oh, so they had their own beliefs before the settlers came in. Yeah.
But that's a good example of like modernizing symbols.
Yeah.
Just like the spearheads meaning warrior.
Yeah.
It's a modern take on it. That's kind of an idea of the Marcation Cross. And there's many different meanings. Underneath this top Honu, or him, is the bamboo weave, which represents strength. And it's underneath as a foundation. For that foundation for him, his wife, and his family. Right to the side of it is shark's teeth. What shark's teeth mean? Do you know?
Shark's teeth?
Yeah.
Don't know. You can't put me on the spot like that.
Pay attention, man.
Well, I mean,
no, the repetition of these shows, you'll get it. Okay, so the shark's teeth is protection. There's many different things, but it's protection. Yeah. Remember the ankle, the shark bit.
I was going to say her alcohol. Yeah, and I just didn't follow that.
I don't believe you.
You can see how red my face is, everybody. I'm so embarrassed right now.
Put him on the spot. Yeah, okay.
Put me on the spot.
Okay, that's good. You're gonna pay attention. Okay, so the around is the shark's teeth, around his shoulder, representing protection for his family. The leaves, if you could see in this other photo, let's see, not that one. There's a photo right there. You could see on both sides of the centerpiece there's leaves.
Yeah.
And these leaves are of a plant, so it's family.
Mm-hmm.
I like the idea of leaves of one plant is like one unit, right? One plant, but many leaves. It's like a family. But it also in Polynesia represents like the pandanus tree, which is used for weaving together.
Yes. Yeah.
Mats and baskets and everything. And it's like family too, like weaving together, bringing
keeping
together.
It strong.
Keeping it strong, right?
Stronger together than you are singly.
So those leaves are surrounding his family, which represents family. Now the inside of his arm is two spearheads joining as one, as you could see right here in the center. They're kind of coming together like this.
Okay, yeah.
And for me, that represents his wife's family, his family, coming together to create one family, his family.
Okay.
Right? And again, guys, this isn't traditional. This is what's coming to my head. Like, I'm just an open vessel, and I'm just like flowing through it. And as I draw and design, this is what it's told to me. I don't know how or why, but I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's what it's supposed to be, regardless. I don't know. And it fits his body, and that's for him personally. And then around those spearheads, you could see the basket weave again, the bamboo weave for strength for his whole family. So that is that tattoo broken down. So right here, this gentleman had a shoulder piece, a Guam seal hook shoulder piece, and you could see I drew it all in pen. I start off with the pen, as you're gonna see with Cameron. What I'm gonna do, I start off with pen, and I just go ahead and freehand based on, the story along with his body structure and what he has. So I went up over surrounding the Guam seal, and right here on the back, I followed his trap area and then went down his shoulder. I kind of changed that in the end, and that's what happens. You modify as you go. So this is just pen, like a regular pen. Now right here, I personally skin scribe it. It's a surgical marker. It's not a Sharpie. I use surgical marker because of the fact that surgeons use it and they cut through it. So if that can go in the body, then I feel safe with these going in the body.
Yeah.
I don't use Sharpies because I feel it's not safe, but I don't know. Don't quote me on that. I don't know.
It looks a lot cleaner. The purple looks a lot like, I like that.
And this just allows the tattoo to stay on longer while I tattoo and not wipe it off. Now, something interesting is that I tend to draw on all the symbols. Majority of tattoo artists, which I see, they don't draw on all the symbols. They draw on big sections. They take the machine and they just start freehanding without any pre-drawn thing. And that is a traditional way of doing it when you do the pe'a or you hand tap.
Okay.
That is. I could choose to do it that way, but I choose not to for the specific reason that I feel I could do a lot better if I draw, erase, and see different things and kind of fill it out. That's just why I do what I do. Here's another example up over his shoulder, and then here on the back.
Oh, wow.
And that's just, the marker. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, this takes a long time.
Yeah.
It takes a long time, but perfection takes time. So if it's worth it, you sit through it and you do it. Now here you see the outline. Now this is the outline of the tattoo.
Oh.
And here's the top part.
Oh, it's top, yeah.
I'm just walking you through it, This is just kind of walking you through the tattoo. And that's the outline.
Oh, so this is after the machine.
That's just the outline and the black fill.
Okay.
And then here you go. You see the shading. So you could see the difference between it just being kind of traditional and black, and then with depth. And this is where the depth would be. You could see it going over his chest and then up over his neck.
Wow.
And then here on the back. Now on the back, you see the plumeris that represents him and his mom and his sister.
Yeah.
So that was very important to him to represent that. He wants to go into law enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
So we actually have 2 different spears.
Okay.
And I did 2 different spears to show genealogy and like the warrior spirit, fighter.
Okay.
And all that. He has protection in there.
So you
strength.
You could use. You're talking about the spearheads the last episode. One being genealogy and one warrior. Could you use 2, like you said, 2 different ones for 2 different meanings? Or
well, that's what I did. Yeah. I mean, necessarily, traditionally, no, they didn't do that. But what I do is I'll shape it differently for different meanings.
Okay.
And that's just what I do.
Yeah.
For different reasons, and that is. And that's that. That's breaking down the tattoos. That's the tattoo highlights of the week.
Yeah.
So those are just some of the tattoos that I did.